Well, hey everybody, Stephen here with Four Oaks Crafts, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be doing more of a show and tell instead of a full tutorial. I'm going to be showing you how I made these two mechanical shop pins on my wood lathe. Now, these pin turning videos are sort of rinse and repeat, but if you are new to pin turning want to learn about it, I do have a full 8-part video course that takes you through from start to finish, and I'll leave a link to the playlist below. Okay, these two are mechanical pencils that I got from Penn State Industries. For this one, I used a Jack Daniel whiskey barrel stave blank, and that turned out very nice. This one was a piece of cypress that I had on hand. I love how this knot sort of adds some character to the pen. Another popular wood to use with these, I hear, is yellow heart. And yellow heart, of course, is a yellow colored wood, so that way it looks more like, you know, a number 2 pencil. And speaking of number 2 pencils, the graphite in these mechanical pencils is 2 millimeter, which is the same diameter graphite lead that you find in a number 2 pencil. And I found it much less likely to break, so it's a very durable lead. Now, these come with different platings, metal platings. I think it comes with 4 different metal platings: chrome, gold, antique brass, and antique pewter. This one happens to be the antique pewter metal plating. Now, something you want to be aware of is all these pen or pencil kits come with a set of instructions that are very important to study and make sure that you're using the right equipment. And things that I want to point out are the drill bit. This used a 3/8-inch drill bit. It also used a certain set of bushings that are important for this pencil kit. And down here it's got a few instructions on preparing the blank. You might want to read those if you're not familiar with turning pens or pencils. Then up here it kind of gives you a diagram of how the blank is laid out on the mandrel, this part that goes into the lathe. And then down, more importantly, you know, they have assembly parts, and this is where you want to be real careful to follow these instructions in the right order to make sure that you assemble you know, the pen or pencil kit in this case. The other thing is these bushings are the same diameter, which is good because that way you don't get different ends mixed up when you go to assemble the pencil. So I'm going to give you a quick overview of how I made the pencils. Not going to go into a full tutorial, and I'll tell you a little bit of what I like about the pencil, and I may be giving one of these away in a future giveaway, so stay tuned on that. I'll also be sharing some of the challenges that I ran into when making this pencil kit. Okay, when I finally got these assembled, I found out they do make very good shop pencils. However, I did run into a couple of challenges, and this is one of the blanks that I started with. It's the blank, the pen tube is a little over 3 inches long, and this is a piece of Bacote, and you can see that I drilled from the top here. I centered it and drilled a 3/8 inch hole there for the brass tube. But what happened is it got a little too hot in there down toward the end, and you can see this little crack that developed. So you want to be careful, you know, when you're plunging that drill in and out. Give the time for heat to escape the hole and let that drill bit cool down just a bit, because you don't want to end up creating this. And I've also got an example here, one that I just totally blew out the end here. So you want to be careful that you don't do that. So I ran into a problem when I did my first assembly on one of these, and it's possible that when I was drilling these out that I plunged the barrel trimmer too far in, and I took off a little more of the brass tubing than I needed to. Because what happens is if you shorten the dimensions of this barrel, then it makes a pin part, it makes this part stick out. So this part was like sticking out like that, kind of leaving a gap. So what I did on that was I took the pencil mechanism, as you can see inside here, I took that out and I gently milled that down just a little bit so this piece would come back together and not leave any kind of gaps here. But the other thing, I did have a little bit of a challenge getting the graphite to advance. Had to play with it a little bit, but once it got through the nib here, it seemed to advance just fine. Now the other feature that this has is when you pop this off, there's a sharpener on the end here, and so if you want to get a sharp point like we normally do on our pencils, it does have an eraser that comes off, and I think you can buy replaceable erasers and you can buy replaceable graphite lead. Okay, I just realized that I'm getting very close to 20,000 subscribers on the channel, so I'd like to do a giveaway, and I'm thinking about maybe giving away one of these mechanical pencils. Now this is probably not the only thing I'll give away. I was thinking about also maybe doing a carving knife as well, but I think this would be a great addition to your shop, no matter what kind of woodworker or woodworking you're into. So please subscribe and stay tuned, and I'll give you more details as we get closer to 20,000 subscribers. Hey, thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.